Damn good coffee and hot. Bop bop boobity boobity boop bop bum bum bum. Am I misspelling things? Good morning, folks. Oh, the old man's coughing. Good morning. It's Thursday, June 16th, 2022. And pretty shitty day here in New York. But that's okay. Get the rain out of the way today so we can have a blast weekend. I got 4 gigs this weekend. So looking forward to having some fun this weekend. And I need good weather for that because all the gigs that I have are outdoors this time of year. I shouldn't say that. Actually, Saturday night, I'm not sure we're gonna be kind of hybrid indoor outdoor. But for the most part outdoors. And very reliant on the weather. I'm just trying to plug in Gov's Comedy Club to get an update on what's happening there. Generally, the schedule stays the same, but sometimes during the week they add new shows, and I just want to see if that's the case. No, this is Gov's podcast. I don't want that. I want the Gov's Comedy Club. Damn it! I can't type in the morning. The allergies are just driving me nuts. Everything's going wrong. Sorry. Um, there we are. Just saying that doesn't look like anything new was added from earlier this week. Not at Levittown anyway. Let me check Bohemia. Anything there? Uh June 18th, Mark DeMeo. That looks like something that wasn't on the schedule earlier. That's Saturday night, right? June 18th. Mark DeMeo is at the Bohemia location. That's McGuire's, which is part of Governor's. And one more, Belmore. Um, no, nothing new there. It's pretty much the same schedule as we went over earlier in the week. Okay, we're cool with Governors. Today, Budsy. That's right, Budsy, comedian out of Las Vegas, and he runs something called the Las Vegas Cannabis Weed Experience. Um, Las Vegas Cannabis Industry Leaders, LVCIL.com. Budsy is a comedian and obviously involved in the cannabis business. I guess we'll talk about weed a lot when he gets here at 10 a.m. today. Uh, Morning, Dean. You're the only one in the chat room so far so good. Anyway, um, almost made it through the week. Thursday. I don't know. I'm a weekend warrior, even though I don't have a day job. It's kind of weird. And generally, weekends are more. I work harder on the weekends than I do during the week. Absolutely. I mean, gigging and the whole thing. Um, I work hard all the time. I work hard all the time. My whole life is built around my work. I identify myself by the work I do, and I know some people don't consider what I do work. So, um, but there's no reason for me to be living for the weekend. It doesn't matter what day it is. And generally, when the whole lockdown started and all that stuff, I didn't even know what day it was for a good amount of time. I didn't care. It was like a basically like an Alzheimer's patient. It doesn't matter to me what day it is. Who cares? Everything is one day is leads into another. Um, See what's going on in the world today. I don't not anything really interesting to me that I see trending in the news today. I mean, obviously the January 6th uh, hearings are going to be in effect again today at 1 p.m. But I will be watching of Dykes and Man. Interesting to see if Jamie actually follows through and returns today. Of Dykes and Man on the Mind Dog TV network. Carl Mann and Jamie Dykes. It's a comedy podcast, folks. But Jamie seems to be, I don't know if I want to say waning in interest, just not necessarily showing up a lot lately. So it'll be interesting to see if he shows up. Now, as you know, I am, when it comes to pop culture, I am a bit of a dope, an extreme dope. And so I see all these people talking, all freaking out about Buzz Lightyear. Now, first of all, I wouldn't support a Disney movie at gunpoint. Um, but I don't understand what the fuss is about. I guess Tim Allen got replaced by some younger dude, which would make sense. Tim Allen is older than me. It's got to be 80, maybe 75 or something in his 70s. That'd be interesting to find out how old is Tim Allen really. Um, he's older than me. Definitely older than 70, I think. Definitely, I say it. Definitely, I think. I don't know. I'll look it up right now. How old is Tim Allen? Anyway, I don't get what the fuss is. Why, is there all this loyalty? Oh, that's Tom Allen. I don't want Tom Allen. I want Tim Allen. Damn, I can't type. Hate myself. Oh, 53. So no, he's only 69 years old. Only 69 years old. Well, that's too old to be Buzz Lightyear. You gotta have a young spirit to be Buzz Lightyear. Anyway, who gives a fuck about that movie? This is my point. Who gives a fuck about Buzz Lightyear? Do you really care? Is this worth fighting over? Is this worth getting angry over? Buzz Lightyear and who plays him? Maybe I'm missing something. I'm definitely missing something because I am so culturally unhip and don't know what's going on, but also don't understand the outrage sometimes about stuff like that. I mean, a freaking kids movie. It is a kids movie, right? And then getting so upset about who plays an animated character. I don't know. I just don't know. As I mentioned, Budsy will be here at 10 a.m. and we'll probably be talking a lot about weed. I don't know what else I can say about weed, but I've been thinking, it's been a while since I got Tommy Chong on. This is way too early to get Tommy on, though. He's not a morning dude. I don't think I'm gonna get him on the morning show, but possibly on the night show. I'll have him back. But I'm thinking about reaching out to his son who books him on here and seeing uh, what the possibility of getting him together with Cheech on the show, Cheech and Chong together on the show, which is something we haven't had before. So looking into that, hopefully that make that happen. Um, so that's all I got to say on that. Chat room's open, phone lines open. If anybody wants to call in, do I have the number up? I don't. I'm I'm really slacking today. Feel like I never get enough sleep. I've said that before, but on days when it's cloudy and the sun's not around, I feel it a little extra. Not low energy. Plus the allergies are fucking with me today. Uh, on governors today, I'm not sure. The show that follows this is the Malcolm Dead comedy show, Tony Walker and Sally. But in their advertisement for today, they have a picture of Elton John. Now, I don't think Elton John's going to be on the show. It's hard to tell what it's. I don't think it's false advertising necessarily. It's just hard to tell what's going on when you see a picture like that and no explanation. Is Elton John going to be on Gov's comedy? No. Tell me no. Well, tell me yes. That would be cool, but I don't know. I guess the only way to find out is to wait till this show's over and find out on Gov's comedy podcast network, whatever it is. Gov comedy the radio, my podcast, boom, bang, bing, bada, boom. Um, what else is going on? Nothing else is going on in the world, folks. So we'll just end it right here. Have a good day. Bye. No, I'm not going to do that. Henry Winkler is trending. I guess he's getting into a Twitter fight with Herschel Walker. Now that's a one-sided battle. That's Mike Tyson fighting a 3-year-old girl. And Mike Tyson in his prime fighting a 3-year-old little girl. That's what that is. Henry Winkler being the Mike Tyson in his prime, of course. Herschel Walker is a brain dead, delusional, brain damaged, delusional con man, trying to be a con man, but he's not smart enough to be a con man. And the scary part about it is he's gonna get elected. This is how stupid the people of Georgia are. They can't see through fucking Herschel Walker for crying out loud. I mean, God, listen. We can rag on politicians all day long. Herschel Walker is truly, truly brain damaged. He can't tell if it's day or night. He can't keep a thought in his head. He lies about a lot of shit. The other day, he was lying about being a police officer, and then he said he was an FBI agent in the same little speech. None of that is true. Goes on talking about how fathers need to be part of their children's life. Even if they leave the mother, you don't leave the child. We find out he's got illegitimate children. He doesn't know. And again, he can't keep a thought in his head. He's like the stupidest, stupidest politician. He makes Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert seem like fucking Einstein in comparison. And he's going to get elected. Henry Linker, I guess, got into some shit with him on Twitter and kind of not buried him. I didn't really start I'm sure he could bury him if he wanted to. He didn't start to go nuclear on the guy, just trying to point out, because I think Walker said something about he should shut up because he's just an actor. And Winkler came back with, you know what? I'm an American first before I'm an actor, and I have every right to say what I want. And you're just a fucking athlete. So who the fuck are you, stupid? Hello. Again, that's not a fair fight at all. Um, and you know, at last night on the program, I had an interesting young man, Daniel Hess. Daniel Hess is a author and filmmaker and poet. And my brother and I were on the phone yesterday, and we were talking about poetry, not related to that. I wasn't even really we don't talk about my show, but for some reason, poetry came up, and a poet. I guess my brother was commenting on a poet who he said, and I'm not sure if this was his line or somebody else. I'm not sure if it's his line or somebody else's line, but he said to the poet, or somebody else said to the poet, said, he's not a fan of poetry. Neither am I, and because poets never see the world as it is, they paint the world in rosy colors a lot of times, or too dark colors, whatever it is. They exaggerate and distort the reality of the world. And the poet's answer was that they've seen the world as it is, and they're not interested in that. I thought that's pretty interesting. And now when I had Daniel Hess on last night, who was a poet, I was kind of addressing that. And my favorite line about that comes from Henry Rollins, who said, "Poets are people who intentionally muddy their waters to make them appear deep." I think there's a lot of truth in that. So I have a difficult time with poetry. I'm not a fan of it, and I'm not knocking it. I'm not. If you like it, that's fine. But it always feels like, and it's odd that I'm a songwriter and a lyrical songwriter, who lyrics first kind of guy, and not. I don't respond to poetry because it always feels too vague that I need it explained to me. Like, what the fuck is this about? I think that's what my brother was saying. Like, poets never see the world as it is. It's always a distortion. And I think there's a generational divide here, because I asked him who his target audience is, his demographic, and he said mostly millennials. And I know Davey, my young friend Davey, writes poetry every day. Again, I don't get a lot of it. And I'm not I was gonna say I'm not a stupid man, but, in some things I am. I definitely am a stupid man in some things. But, when it comes to poetry, um, I feel like I don't know what I'm supposed to get out of it. And sometimes feel like I need it explained to me. What the fuck are you trying to say? And if I need it explained to me and I have to say what the fuck are you trying to say, I don't think you did a good job of saying what you had to say. Anyway, I do think my generation, old people, we don't call them boomers anymore. We just call them old people. I think poetry is not for us, but there is, seems to be some interest in the millennials of it. Just putting that out there, just whatever people think about it. Dean says there's some good stuff out there. Um, you want to give me some examples? I mean, I'm open to continuing to explore if I find something good, but I will get bored if I don't find something pretty good. Somebody will make a recommendation to me and say, "This is pretty good." If I'm 3 pages in and I'm still getting that feeling like, "What the fuck are you trying to say?" That's my issue with poetry. I always wanna say, "What the fuck are you trying to say?" And I don't think art should leave you I in that place. I think the purpose of art is communication. It's communicating things. And, when you have to say, "What the fuck are you trying to say?" I don't think the art is doing the job art was supposed to do. And we got into this conversation about because as a filmmaker, his filmmaking, style, technique, whatever you wanna say. I forgot to send, Kiera, an invite again. I'm gonna do that I can see if I can do this while I talk. His filmmaking technique, his filmmaking style is a little different. There are 2 shorts that are on his website that are 22 minutes long, 22 around 22 minutes long, and, probably within them, there's less than a half a minute of dialogue in either one of them. It's mostly visual, movement, sound, but very little dialogue, and with that, as in poetry, the consumer, the person watching the films, needs to interpret it for themselves and interpret meaning. What am I supposed to feel here? What's the message I'm supposed to get? And so I approached him with the idea of that could be very different from the meaning you set out to communicate. And are you okay with that? And he said he is. He's totally okay with whatever anybody takes away from his films. For me, if somebody just totally misinterprets my work, it will bother me. Not to the point I don't get angry, but it will bother me. Say, where did I fail? Or what did I do to give them that really bad um interpretation of the work I put out there? Where did I miss the mark in the communication? He's not of that school. But I think it's very unusual. Two of the three films that I saw have so little dialogue that you could pass potentially draw any meaning from it you want. You can make up your own decision about what the film was supposed to mean, what you're supposed to feel about it. That's a whole different take on art in general. To leave, and maybe that's part of a generational thing too. I think that's part of where a lot of art is going. Other than the commercial bullshit pop culture stuff that was spoon fed, a lot of contemporary art, real art, is completely subjective. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. love to hear your questions and comments if you got any on where I'm going with this, but just seems very weird. I guess I'm old school. I like to know what the story really is. I like to know what the ending really is. I like to know what it's really all about. Old man, I know. Speaking of old men, I got on this kick the other day that everybody over 60, I'm over 60, so I'm allowed to say this. Everybody over 60, wow, very cool picture you got there on Facebook, Dean. Everybody over 60 should have to take a driver's test every year. I went to the grocery store the other day. Kat says she likes a little ambiguity in art. I'm not sure what she means by that. Oh, did I make myself laugh and choke at the same time? Went to the grocery store the other day, and on the way out, well, first of all, inside the grocery store, there's an old man in one of those drive me shopping carts, but driving so slow, driving on the wrong side of the lane, causing traffic jams within the store. And I was just like, oh man, this guy, everywhere I go, he was in the way and just really, really just making me a little angry. And when I got out to the parking lot, he was getting in his car and he got in his car and he almost hit me backing out. And then he kept backing out, and he almost ran over a girl. She had to kinda dive out of the way not to get run over. He backs all the way into another car, and then doesn't even know he didn't know he almost hit me, he didn't know he almost hit the young girl, he didn't know he backed into another car, and then he pulls out and he sideswipes another car and keeps going. Like, we can't have these people on the road, we just can't, and so we definitely need to start testing old people every year. Can you um can you drive without killing people? Do you even know when you hit somebody? That would be a good place to start. Good morning, Kelly. I only listen about art from Art Boy. I'm not just talking about visual art, Kelly. I'm talking about uh plays and poetry and music, comedy, comedy's art, filmmaking, all that kind of stuff. Subtlety, I'm not talking necessarily about subtlety either. I'm talking about completely leaving it up to the audience to decide what the story is. I don't know how I can explain this. The only way you can do it is to actually see one of his films. Is twotonyproductions.com if you're interested. But uh it's like it's almost as if there's no story there, and you're making up your own story to go along with the visuals. So there's no dialogue or so little dialogue in 22 minutes, 15 seconds of dialogue each of the 2 short films that I'm talking about. And it's not dialogue, it's monologue. It's not like conversation. It's the main actor just saying a few words here and there. Uh, you agree with Dean about what? Subtlety? Are you being subtle about that? Uh, I can't figure out if you can't figure it out, just move on. I do that with a lot of things. Um, that was me too. That was my point about poetry. I get bored. I'll get bored with it. Like if I don't know if I'm sitting there saying, "What the fuck is this about?" for 20 minutes, but I think that's generational. That was my point. I think the younger generation is can deal with that, which is it's a weird juxtaposition because we have shorter attention spans, but we also have more tolerance for sticking with something that you don't know what the fuck you're watching. Just interesting to me, as because, and I do think it's generational. I think younger people definitely can hang with something that I would be, "What the fuck is this?" And I'll be looking around the theater like, "Somebody explain this to me. What the fuck is going on? Somebody tell me what the fuck this movie is about." And young people would be like, "Shut the fuck up, old man. Just enjoy it." Like, "Enjoy what? I gotta know what I'm enjoying." I don't know. I really I wanna show it, but I don't wanna show it. Maybe I could just show a second of it, a couple of seconds of it. Let's see about this. Allergies have really fucked me up today. You know, I say that every day. Spirit Will Stay is the name of one. Um, let's see. I'll just give you a few, maybe a minute of this, and let's see. Sharing. Here I go again with this incompetence behind the console here, and not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. Are you sick of me doing this every day? I'm sick of me doing this every day. Where Vimeo? Where are you, Vimeo? Vim, 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 vim. Here it is. I'm so stupid. I really am. Okay, this is a little bit of 2351.
I just know you won't enjoy this.
Oh yeah. All right. I think. See, this is where the old man is just saying, "What the fuck is this about?" All right, that was enough of that. Um, that's what I mean. That goes on for 23 minutes. Um, and so, and it's getting a lot of positive feedback, a lot of, strong reviews from people 30 years younger than me. So I'm definitely thinking it's a generational thing. Kat says, "I'd rather privately read a poem than go somewhere someone is reading a poem to." Oh, that, yeah. Oof. Open mic, poetry night, spoken word stuff. That will freak me right the fuck out. Exciting as a hair care book. Thank you. You're all over that. Kevin was with me a little bit last night in the chat room, egging me on about the hair care stuff. I don't think I'm ever going to live that down, am I? Listen, I did go back to the publicist who booked the hair care lady, and listen, there's nothing wrong with a hair care book. There really isn't. If you want to help people care for their hair, there's nothing wrong with that, right? In a book about that. But if you're going to go on a podcast to promote it, you should have something to say about it. That's my whole, because that interview was like, so where do we begin? I guess we begin with the four elements that you wrote about: hair perms and relaxers and all that. Yes. Well, this is going to be a long show. Because I'm out of questions already, and you gave me a yes. You have to you see the whole idea about being on a podcast is to talk to, the audience, hopefully, if there is an audience, but after that, there probably won't be. Um, anyway. Oh, yeah, well, Kelly, you're gonna love that. She said, "I'd watch the whole movie just for because of her hair." You would love that then because the hair gets wild in that. Uh I mean, lots and lots of different changes from bright orange, red, blue, also every color imaginable, short, long, all of it, to the point where you sometimes you're not even sure if is this the same person? It's like that. So you would definitely um you would definitely appreciate the hair in that. Check it out, Two Tony Productions. Movie that one is called My Spirit Will Stay. There are other ones. Uh, Girls with Orange Hair, man. What about them? I like redheads. Strawberry Blonde, actually. I was always partial to those, but only if the rug matches the drapes. I thought it was carpet. There's a difference between carpet and rug. um, yeah, do they have to match? That's a question. And to be honest with you, with hair color, I find I don't know how to say this really. I find my eye will be quickly attracted to strawberry blonde, redheads, ginger, but I really don't care. A woman could be attractive to me with any color hair. Um, but that's weird because I do have a place my eye goes for like if I see a redhead and don't see the face, I definitely want to see if she's got a pretty face to go with that pretty hair. I don't know. I love the color. I guess I just love the color. That's really, you know, but when it comes to, woman's hair color doesn't determine whether she's beautiful or attractive in any way. Uh, hardwood floors. Oh, redheads. Redheads pick up spank marks quicker than brunettes. That is true. That is definitely true. Kevin says, I'm a sucker for dark hair, blue eyes. We all got weaknesses. Yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting because there is there is something to that. Eyes matching the hair. Eyes not complementing the hair color, eye color, hair color, complementing things. And I think there are combinations that don't work for some reason. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know bone structure. Vidal Sassoon told me this. Bone structure is the key to beauty and face shape. Did you know? Did you know that oval shaped faces are the most attractive, according to just about everybody in the human race? And when you start to realize that stuff, you start to look at people for their face shapes. And some people have very square jawlines. Some people have round faces. Uh, Kelly says that you can stop talking about how pretty I am. Um, okay, I will. I'll do that now. You, I don't think I had a type, but I never dated a blonde guy. I blame the '80s movie villains, Val Kilmer, bucketheads. Um, yeah, so face shape. Pay attention to face shape. Speaking of face shape, we have somebody with a square face, totally square face, uh, completely square, like you know, square dude. In the background, and because I'm really just like rambling on here about nothing, why don't we say hello to Kiara? If I could play her music, I good dreary Thursday to you.
Good dreary Thursday.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be a nice weekend though. So I think having a dreary Thursday is a positive thing. It gets the crap out of the way. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Are you are you happy about? Are you enthused? Are you full of energy? Are you full of uplifting, happy spirit this morning?
Yeah. Yeah.
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit on that.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. Y- you think your face is square? I called your face square.
I
Did you?
thought it was a. I don't
You
know.
have an
I
oval.
thought
You have an oval. I know.
I. I don't
I was
know.
just messing with you. But
I don't
have you
know.
ever really have you ever really taken a look at people's face shapes?
No.
You should do that sometime. Notice people's face shapes.
Um. No. I don't want
No?
to. I don't want to. What? What
Why?
kind of? What kind of face shape do you have? I don't know. I can't
I have
tell.
an oval. I have an oval. Well, we could look. We could look at people's faces. I could bring up some pictures of faces, and we could look. But
Okay. Let's
yeah,
do that. Let's
no,
do
I'm
that.
not doing that just right now
Oh,
because I'm so too lame with the sharing of screens and stuff. All right, let me
oh.
see. Yeah, no, I'm gonna do this. But I was talking about poetry this morning. Are you a fan of poetry?
No.
Yeah. Um, oval faces. I'm gonna start
I
with
actually
oval.
had a poem I wanted to share, but
Poem?
yeah, I did. But it's not with me right now. So next
Oh.
time. Yeah. It was nice.
Hmm. Let me see here. Well, if I share these people, okay. Oval face shapes. We'll start with oval face shapes. No, I don't do this right. See, this is why I suck as a human being. I shouldn't be allowed to live anymore. Um,
Um.
Google. Here we go. Can you see these? Okay.
No. Click one.
Let me click one. Well, this is definitely an oval shape.
How's that
Uh,
oval? But she has the pointy chin. Does that make it oval?
yeah, no, it's just yeah. Well, she
Her
definitely does
forehead
have a. Yeah, yeah. Well,
is
it's
oval.
the whole shape of it. You see, they got it outlined there. This is
No.
more oval, more oval. Well, that's not really. That's getting rounder. Now let me look. If I look at round face shape, round.
That's an oval face.
Yeah.
I want to be able to tell.
Well, this is round. You could tell this is round, right? This is not oval. This is round.
Um, so we're looking at the forehead, not the chin.
We're looking at the overall. Well,
But
chins do definitely make a difference. Like if it's too square, too hard, it will be squared. That's
she
not round.
looks, yeah, that doesn't
That's
look
really
round.
oval.
Yeah.
That's a round face.
Oh, like a tiny face? I thought I had a tiny face. I have a tiny head.
Well, it's not really tiny. It's the shape
I look
that would.
small.
This one doesn't really look like a round face, does it? She looks more oval, but they have a round circle on it, trying to say, well, that's a round face shape.
No, I don't think
It
so.
determines
I
on
don't
how
know.
your hair gets cut, and for professional stylists.
Oh, that's why we're going with this. Okay.
Yeah, and well, it's all about the beauty industry is where I got this from. That is definitely a round face.
Yeah. So
Uh,
round face bangs.
round face is harder to make uh, beautiful from the hair and cosmetic, harder than oval. Oval is the easiest. Now square,
Oh,
you'll see square faces. Square faces are definitely a lot more masculine. Uh,
oh, that is a square. Wow,
yeah.
look at all those squares.
I know. Let me see some square faces here. They got Angelina Jolie. I don't think she's necessarily a square face. That looks oval.
She looks like she has an oval face. See,
Yeah.
that's why I don't think this is
No.
accurate.
Yeah. No. If you worked with enough people in salons, you would definitely see this. These are just maybe Google isn't the best place for this.
Seems like
Uh,
Google doesn't know what's going
y-
on.
Google doesn't know what's going on. Google doesn't work in the hair and beauty industry.
Google can't. No,
Fuck
no.
Google.
Yeah.
Fuck Google. If I put in poetry, they'll probably come up with Kira doesn't have a poem to read.
I did. I did. And it was called Marigolds.
Marigolds?
And it was written by someone in New Jersey, I think.
Joyzy.
I don't know. I'm guessing. I think it
I
was.
I have a poem.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's see if I can remember it. Did you ever sit and ponder as you walk along the strand that life's a bitter battle at the best? And if you only knew it, it would lend a helping hand, and every man could meet the final test. The world is but a stage, my friend, and life is but a game. And how you play is all that matters in the end. For whether man is right or wrong, the woman gets the blame, and your mother is your dog's best friend.
Did you write that?
No.
Why did it end like that?
What do you mean? Why does it end like that? Because your mother is your dog's best friend. Because I don't know why it ends like
That
that.
that didn't make sense. But the beginning was nice.
Want to hear it again?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No. Did you ever sit and ponder as you walk along the strand? Now, sitting and pondering as we walk is impossible. So right away you can say,
The
"Well, what the
strand
hell
of
is
what? The strand of
the
DNA?
strand of
The
life?"
strand?
The
The hair
strand. Did
strands?
you ever sit and ponder as you walk along the strand that life's a bitter battle at the best? Life is a struggle. Life's a bitter battle at the best. And if you only knew it, it would lend a helping hand, and every man could meet the final test.
Mm-hmm.
The world is but a stage, my friend, and life is
Mm-hmm.
but a game.
Right.
And how you play is all that matters in the end.
Uh-huh.
For whether man is right or wrong, the woman gets the blame,
That's true.
and your mother is your dog's best friend.
I don't understand that. No. Are you the dog?
I guess
Oh,
I could be the dog.
you wrote that.
No, your mother doesn't like me, so no, I'm not.
Ah!
I'm not your mother's best friend.
Okay.
That's a Groucho Marx poem. That's the only poem I know.
Okay, very nice. You know, all songs are basically poems, so.
Well, that's what I was saying, but it's different. No, cause yeah, last night I had a guy on who was a poet. He's a filmmaker, author, and poet. And I was talking about. It's funny that I don't like poetry more because I am a lyrical songwriter. I start with lyrics first. I care about lyrics.
Right.
But poetry doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like a song. It feels like. Let me see if I can pull up one of
I
Davies.
got one. I got one.
Go ahead.
All right, here's my poem. With the lights out, it's less dangerous. Here we are now. Entertain us. I feel stupid and contagious. Here we are now. Entertain us. A
That's not,
mulatto,
that's
an
not a
albino,
poem.
a mosquito,
But but but
my
but
libido.
that's not a
Yeah.
poem.
Hey.
Now I'm mad. That's not a poem.
It is a poem.
All right,
It is a poem.
I'm gonna read you one of Davies, and you tell me this is a song. We've walked before the primrose path, and what good hath it brought? Its crimson skin and pit of death, a
I know
few
this.
forgives us not. Quite tempting is the flower bud, whose poison's not enough. It's beautiful and deadly how our lives rely on luck. See, nature isn't partial, it doesn't give a fuck. We've
What?
walked we've walked before this primrose path to learn what can't be taught.
That was a poem?
That's a poem.
Why did it sound like Shakespeare in the beginning?
Maybe
It
he was
it,
intending on that. I
it
don't know.
did until he used profanity.
Here's
Okay.
another one. Here's another one. Same
He
guy.
wrote this guy? Okay.
It was it was a morning like other mornings where if I had a garden, I'd tend to it, each flower delicate as the next, sleeping in a nursery, watering each bulb, silent as a field mouse. I'd bow my head in knowing it was morning like other mornings. It was the sun. See that makes me say, what the fuck did I just read?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
He wants a
So,
garden. He could have
yes.
just wrote, I want a garden, period.
Great, exactly. Well, and I'm my whole point in even going down this road today, fucking boring ass road. People like on Governors are like, "What the fuck kind of show am I watching today?"
Yeah, I know. Square faces, poetry.
But
Yeah.
I think it's a millennial thing because
What's a millennial thing?
this whole idea of art as I don't know what the fuck I just watched. I don't know what the fuck I just read. I think millennials like that. My generation looks at it and says, I like my movies to be there that I know what they mean. I know what I just watched. I don't like being confused at the end and saying, "What the hell was that? What was I supposed?" I just watched
Mm.
and his films and poetry make you feel like, "What the hell was that? What?" And it begs the question as a director, or as a somebody who's making a film, somebody who's writing this stuff, do you care about people knowing what the hell you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's important. I know. I watched several films where I was very unhappy with the ending. I had no idea. And I didn't
Yeah.
like the movie. The Lighthouse with Robert Pattinson and William Dafoe was the most effed up movie I've ever watched. I don't know what was going on.
The kids are next to you, aren't they? Because you said effed up.
No, I don't know why I said effed up. I don't know.
But yeah, but I don't think you're a typical millennial. Are
Oh,
you even a millennial? I'm not even sure where the
I
lines
think
are
I
drawn.
am. I think I am.
Yeah. But I do think
Uh,
it's a generational thing. My generation, you're not a typical millennial, even if you are a millennial. I think my generation is more like, what the fuck is this? Why did I just watch this thing? If I don't know what the hell you're trying to say,
It's art, Dad. Yeah.
that's it. It's art.
It's
That's
art,
exactly right.
Dad. Get a
But
grip,
I
you
again,
boomer.
this is where I came from,
Mm.
and where it started this morning. I like art because I think the point of art is to communicate something. Whether it's stand up comedy, whether it's a movie, whether it's a book, it's whatever a song, is to communicate something, and you want people to really get your communication, not to be say, just gonna make up my own message that I'm supposed to get from this, and hopefully I got it right, or maybe I'm not even. Hopefully I got it right.
Mm.
Like,
You lost
like
me. Poetry doesn't always make sense. When read, it must be interpreted by the individual. Yes.
right,
Yes.
interpreted by the individual, but
Art
that's
is
not
subjective.
too
Oh man, can
subjective
we change
today.
the topic? I was in
Okay,
I was
change the
in
topic.
AP English and creative writing, and I was good. I was good at English, and we had to study a lot of poetry and break it down,
Break it
and
down.
stanza by stanza, and it was just a waste of time.
I
I
think so.
think it was a waste of time.
That's my point. Because me and my brother and I, not even realizing that I was having a poet on last night. My brother and I were talking about it, and I go back to Henry Rollins' line about it, which is I still it resonates very deeply with me. It's that
Oh.
poets are people who intentionally muddy their waters to make them appear deep. In other words, I wanna make it feel confusing to you, so you think I'm smart.
Yeah, yeah, really
It's kind of like
sexy.
the stock market. When you see CNBC or one of these television things where they have it's financial stuff and they got stuff shooting all over, arrows and red lines and graphs and all this kind of stuff. It's not that difficult, not that complicated, but they want to make it feel complicated so that you feel stupid.
Mm.
So that you need them. So the only way as a financial analyst I can justify my job is to make you feel like you're not smart enough to to deal with this on
Well,
your
the
own.
same thing with lawyers. When you need they have to interpret for you what the legal terms are. It's like
Yeah,
let's
but for
just
money, it's not that complicated. It's either this is a good product, this is a bad product. People are going to want this. There's supply and demand. Money is not as complicated as the law. It's not in the minutia within the law. It's either a
yeah
good. You don't
yeah
need arrows and symbols and plus and minus and
uh,
trending and all that kind of stuff just to try to decide what am I gonna put my money in my 401k today? You spend an hour looking at symbols and stuff giant all over the place just to find out. Yeah, you put $100,
the stock market is falling,
right?
and I can tell by the big red arrows pointing down.
Oh, that's what that red
Yeah,
arrow meant. Well,
uh,
it's time for a big green arrow. You want to get high? You want to get high?
I cannot.
You can't get high.
I can't
Well, it's
handle
wake
it.
and bake. It's wake and bake time.
I would be stupid all day. I would be not able to take
and
care of the children. That don't
how would that be
don't
any different from any other day?
don't set myself up for that.
I know.
No, I cannot. My father brought over gummy bears and offered me one, but I would not be able to properly mother under the influence of a gummy bear.
Yeah.
So I politely declined.
They
I
didn't
can't.
want dumb poor people to understand, just like preachers being only able to read the Bible for the millennia.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'm not, things should be very plain for me. I'm a very simple man. I like things straight and direct, which is,
Simple
I guess the point I spent
kindness.
45 minutes trying to make is I like things straight and to the point. Don't fucking dress up your language with all sorts of, decorations and fluffy language.
Have you ever tried to read any of the terms and conditions of any app that you have?
Oh my God.
I
I've
have.
tried. Yes, I have.
I have, and I wind up not using that app because
Me too.
essentially it says you are ours and your photos are ours and everything you post is ours. Basically, to sum it
Basically,
all
it
up,
does say that.
16 pages just to say we own you if you click accept.
Yes.
So, yeah. It's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to dance around.
But
Anyway, so that was nice.
yeah,
Thank you for that beautiful 10 minutes of
wasted life that you'll never get back.
yes.
What's Thursday, man? What can I tell you?
That was great.
Right.
You
So,
talked about Luxor, having a gig at Luxor where I used to
yes,
work,
yes.
and I had a nightmare that I was back there.
Wow. Tell me. Tell
And
me.
my coworker who wound up double crossing me, who I no longer talk to, I walked into the building and she was like, "Well," and I was saying hello to everybody, my residents and everyone I used to talk to, and she said, "We don't have time. We have to get this report done." And I told her off, like I've always wanted to since she double crossed me, and I felt good. And then Matt said, "You have to get up. The show is about to start."
Wow.
Yeah.
Is this anybody I know? Or nobody like in the
She
recreation area?
looks like me. They say we look like each other. They thought we were sisters or mother and daughter. And she was my friend.
So she's ugly.
You are so funny today. You are so funny. Yeah, she's ugly.
I know.
Like me. No, she's pretty. And
I know.
she's a classy woman, and I really loved working with her. I loved getting up every morning and sharing a closet, because it was a closet, it wasn't an office with her.
I know.
Hated
Mikey's got two offices, and
right.
they put everybody else in like closets.
Yeah. Well, Mikey's office isn't that impressive, but
It's not impressive, but he's got two offices. He's got some space.
Well, you have to walk past Debbie. Debbie says he's got an office within an office. You have to walk past the guard dog.
Right.
I love Debbie to get to Mike, but no, yeah, she was really nice and pleasant, and we had a beautiful bond. And she came to when I gave birth to my child. She came with gift baskets and sat down and talked and spent hours with me, only
No,
to double cross me.
what's the double cross exactly? What
I
happened?
wouldn't inject myself with this vaccine, and I wanted her, and she didn't want to either, in order to continue working there. Even though we worked through the pandemic, I worked through this pandemic pregnant, got up every morning. I could have worked at freaking McDonald's, but I worked at the nursing home where they made you get tested twice a week, up the schnozzle. This one guy poked
I know.
the
I
bottom
know.
of my
I don't
eye,
want that. Right.
made my nose bleed. All right. Wear PPE just to talk to clients from head to toe. Ridiculousness. Go through all this stress for
May
them
I
to
say
turn around and
something?
say, take this or you're fired. And I said to her, I said, she who I will not name,
Right.
let's do this
See who?
together. Let's just walk away, and they'll have no business office, and they'll have to compensate.
No. What would
And
have
she
your
double
anger is
crossed me.
misplaced. Your
It's
anger is
not
misplaced.
misplaced. They should
She
never force anybody or coerce anybody to inject
That's
something into their
fine.
body.
Your anger should be placed at the organization, not at this person who was
No, but
doing what.
she purposely tried to pressure
Wait.
me and
Let
get management involved.
let's get something straight. Did she say yes? I'm with you. We're gonna do this, and
Yes.
then back out?
Yes. Yes.
Well, that's
And
good.
then when because I was on maternity leave, I didn't know if I was coming back or not. I said, well, if I come in, is it all for nothing? Or are you just gonna, let me go? And she tried to have, she said, well, you need to make a decision because I'm doing it. And, she changed her mind and she told the manager that I wasn't coming back and my maternity leave was about, they were going to cut my maternity leave. She was really trying to screw me.
All right.
Yeah. So sometimes I have angry dreams about her and I want to go in there and just be like, bro, we had a good thing. We had a
We had a good
relationship.
thing.
She came to the band. She came to see us sing. She came to
Oh,
Gotcha. She had a very expensive, nice dinner.
she still comes to see us whenever you're not there. By the way, no, I'm kidding. I'm
I'm
kidding. I
hurt.
don't know. I don't know.
I'm hurt.
All right. Give me some happy news so I can let you go and bring in my guest today.
He's here.
Yes.
Okay.
You know his name?
I have heartburn today. Anyway, I'm gonna lay down.
You don't know?
What's his name?
His name is Budsy, which is why I asked you if you wanted to get high. Budsy's here.
That's just Budsy.
Budsy.
No last name.
Comedian. Budsy comedian. That's his last name. Comedian.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll make room for Budsy.
Make room for Budsy. He's
I
got a
don't know what I
bottle of
ate
it.
last night, but I'm very flatulent and very uncomfortable.
Oh, well, get out of here with your flatulence.
Do you want to? Okay. I'll share some happy
Could
news.
you fart like a really loud fart on air? I think because most people never
It's
heard
not
a
ready.
woman like. Oh, okay.
It's not ready, but I would. I definitely would. They're really long and bubbly and smelly. They really smell like
I don't.
like low tide when all the fish have died. Hey, a poem.
Oh yeah.
When you eat pasta with pride, you will have farts that smell like low tide when all the fish have died. Yeah.
Very good.
How was that?
That's pretty good poetry.
Okay.
It's the kind of poetry I understand.
Yeah.
See, that's what I mean about art.
So Dr.
I want
Seuss
to
kind of
understand the
poetry.
meaning of. Yes. All right, give me the happy news and get the hell out of here.
This is about neighbors who are there for each other, who don't back out of promises. Okay.
Wow, kind of like you and your coworker.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
About loyalty.
Right, loyalty.
This is from goodnewsnetwork.org. A woman was about to be evicted, but was saved by her neighborhood who bought her house for her. They raised the money for this woman. After being threatened with eviction, a retiree was able to buy the house she had rented for 2 decades after $250,000 was raised by the community on her behalf. And if there wasn't inflation, they'd only have to raise like $250,000. So they overbought this house for her. No, I just made that up.
I want those
but
neighbors.
known for having a heart of gold and a pair of green thumbs, Linda Taylor was a beloved neighbor in her Minneapolis community. And she has been in the house for 19 years. She's 70 years old. They were going to kick her out. And yeah, they raised some money for her.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's good news. That made me happy. You
now
did your job.
She's got to always go to the block parties. She has to go to every dinner that anybody invites her to. She has to be
she's obligated now.
Obligated to serve her community now.
Well, you know what I would do? I'd sell the fucking house and get the fuck out of it. Thanks, folks, for saving my house. I'll take the money now and go to Mexico. That's what I would do.
Oh, my gosh. That's what my coworker would probably do. People like that.
So you don't like me. Because I'll remind you of her, and you don't like me now.
I could see it now. She had like a square face.
A square face?
Yeah.
Well, I have an oval face.
Well, it looks square to me.
Can be even more oval if I do that. All right, get out of here. I'll see you later.
Goodbye.
All right, Budsy's here. He's here, ladies and gentlemen, and it's time to wake and bake. He's up early over there on that, not exactly on the left coast, but he's close enough to the left coast that we appreciate him getting up extra early to wake and bake with us. Let's welcome him in, Budsy, comedian.
Hey,
Hey, what do you got there, man? What
well,
is that thing?
this is called a dab rig. You heat up. This is called a banger. This when you put shat extract. It's about 87 to 90% THC. Sometimes, if it comes from hemp, very high in CBD. But I'm a medical marijuana patient. Been one for almost 10 years now. Hey, you could be my twin.
I was going to say I appreciate
But
your work in Breaking Bad. I thought you were excellent in that.
yeah, well, I moved. I'm here in Las Vegas now. Moved here about a year ago from Portland, Oregon, which Portland, I like the place. The weather's great up there. I mean, I got to go skiing, hiking. The coast is really pretty out there. But
I know. I have a friend who lives up in Oregon, and he sends pictures of his beaches sometimes. They're really, really magical looking, those
oh
beaches.
yeah, but I'm glad I moved here. I moved here a little bit over a year ago to open up a barbecue restaurant. It was called Uncle B's Smokehouse Barbecue, and I used to be Uncle Budsy, and I was Uncle Budsy 2.0. The guy that originally taught me how to cook barbecue, he was the uncle of my best friend when I was 13 to 15, and he was a Jamaican fellow. And I tell people I'm a white Jamaican now, and that's not because I've got this 12-inch schlong that.
It's because you're a Budsy man.
Well, the original Uncle Budsy, like I said, his real name was Baptiste Adu. And being Jamaican, he smoked a lot of ganja. And he told me he used to smoke with his two running buddies when he was 14, Jimmy Cliff and Bob Marley, back in 9 Miles, Jamaica.
Wow, cool.
But my real name's Mike. And what he would do, he'd hold up a bud of weed, and he called me Mickey Mon. He'd say, Mickey Mon, you want to smoke some Budsies? So being the uncle of my best friend, I started I was making fun of him, calling him Uncle Budsy. But the guy, I mean, he was hilarious, and he wasn't very politically correct because he used to go up to women. He'd call his ribs that he cooked bone candy. He'd go up to women, and you can't say this now, but he'd say, would you like to suck on my bone?
I think you can say that now. You just did.
Well, no, but I was repeating what somebody else,
I know.
especially in Portland, Oregon. I mean, you'll be canceled. And, I see, and I tell people, if you have to explain your jokes, they're not funny, but there's one term, it's called cis. It's one of these Latin millennial terms. It means stays the same. It's like it's like a man was born with a penis. He still has his penis. He wants to keep it. Right. And a woman was born with a vagina. She still has it and wants to keep it. It's not this trans where they're trying to flip over to the other side.
Right.
So, and I know I'm talking a lot, but I am medicated. I'm a medical marijuana patient for a life and death condition that if I probably treated it conventionally, I'm sure I'd be dead or in some.
What is the condition? Do you mind telling us?
Well, I was diagnosed with prostate cancer, and actually my dad died at 94. So the same time my mom died at 94. He died with prostate cancer, but he didn't die because of it. But he died with that. But he died without his nuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
I spent one of my careers was in pathology, and my mentor in that short career told me that every male will get prostate cancer. It's providing they don't know something else doesn't kill them first. Meaning if you live long enough, you're going to get it.
That's true. The same thing with heart disease. If you live long enough, you're probably going to die from cancer, heart disease, something. Well, eventually you will die of something. But my plan,
Yeah, absolutely, right. Everybody's going to die. My brother was diagnosed with prostate cancer in 1988. He's still alive, and he went to the doctor, and the doctor looked at his chart because he's still dealing with prostate cancer now. The doctor looked at his chart and said, "This must be a mistake. It says you were diagnosed in 1988." He said, "I was." He said, "How is that possible? You'd be dead. You can't. You're still dealing with it." So this must.
yeah. Well, I believe if, like I said, if I'd gone the other route, but what I'm like I said, I moved here to Vegas to open up a barbecue restaurant and a cannabis consumption lounge, and where people can legally and safely smoke weed. Like here in Vegas, there's no really place you can smoke weed. But they passed this thing called Assembly Bill 341. It was set up consumption lounges. And when I was in Portland, we had one that had 24,000 members. Now, everybody didn't come at the same time, but we had this one event, they called it Dab Wars. And two people would come up and they'd take one of these things like this. You heat it up with a propane torch, and they put this shatter stuff in it, which is high concentrate THC. And so the first round, these two people came together and competed in this dab wars. A half a gram, second round was a gram. The third and fourth rounds were 2 grams each. That's 5.5 grams of, say, 87% THC. And so in over a 45-minute time frame. And so they took in the equivalent of 1,100 shots of tequila.
Holy crap.
And I talked to this guy. He just got off stage winning it. I said, "How do you feel?" And he said, "Well, I'm a little woozy." And I thought, "Fuck, you're a little woozy." I mean, it was. I mean, that's the thing. People can highly overdose on this stuff, and so it is a recreational. I consider it a recreational medicine.
I think I overdosed on edibles. Somebody sent me edibles, and I was of the opinion that edibles didn't work for me. Sent me the gummies, and I was doing 10 milligram gummies, doing 3 or 4 or 5 of them, and saying I'm still not feeling anything. And he sent me this thing called a punch bar, and it said 225 milligrams of THC. I was like, well, that's got to be a misprint or something, or it's different THC. It's because these are 10. Why would this one be 225? Can't be right. I ate the whole thing, and I was fucked up for a week. And I was having some real trippy, like mushroom LSD type experiences for short term.
You probably had. You should be able to titrate your dosage and how much. When you start feeling stoned, if you want to go more, then do it. It's how you should feel like you should. And the problem with edibles right now, see, when you drink alcohol, it goes into your stomach, it's absorbed in the blood vessels, go into your blood vessels and go to your brain, and it passes the blood-brain barrier. With this, when you eat it, it has to be absorbed as an item, and then has to go into your liver to be then converted into the. So it takes about an hour for all that to happen, get back into your blood, and be able to go and psychogenically alter your brain patterns.
And it's a different kind of THC than you get when you smoke too, right? It changes it.
Well, the thing is, you have to decarboxylate THCA to THC in order to get the psychogenic effects, and that's a conscious effort. You have to burn it, compress it with high pressure, high temperature, or something. You have to remove what's called a carboxyl group from the THC, that's not unactivated THCA, you have to remove this carboxyl group for it to turn it into THC, which can fuck up your, get you stoned.
I'm an old school guy, man. I just want to get high.
Oh, these growers now, I grew up on, and I have not been smoking weed all my life.
Wow.
But I had a hiatus of about a year and a half from drinking, drugging, pills, doing weed or smoking weed, anything. I was completely clean and sober. And at that time, I had a traumatic experience when I was a dentist. I used to be a dental surgeon.
Now yeah. Okay, I could see that.
And I was a dental surgeon, and I had a patient die in my office.
Oh, sorry to hear about that.
Well, I sure didn't play, I thought, but the experience ended up, I went up against the wrong Clinton pedophile. I got sued by this attorney, and he's in the Clinton Epstein group.
Wow.
And he spent $2 million, got himself appointed special prosecutor by his ex-college roommate, the DA of Tarrant County. And he spent $2 million on manufacturing this trial. And I ended up getting convicted of involuntary manslaughter.
Whoa.
And
did you have to do time for that?
Yeah, I spent 47 months in a Texas prison. And,
wow.
and I'll tell you, but I was somebody in there. And Walt, the Breaking Bad show, had not been out yet. So I wasn't a badass for that. I was a badass because I was fucking smart. I took my environment and adapted to it. I became Barrister Budsy. I worked in the law library, and I actually ended up being the consigliere to the guy that ran all the dorms, Rubio. And I told him, but people would ask me for advice in there. And I thought, I'm just here for a little short time. There are these, everybody in there is criminal. But so you have to understand, and adapt to your environment, whatever it is. Now I'm trying to be a comedian.
Right.
And, but I'm Budsy, the comedian. And I'm doing that mainly to sell more barbecue and sell more weed. And
wow.
We're trying to open up this consumption lounge here. And thanks for listening to me, because I'm practicing this for investors.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say one thing. You say everybody's a criminal in there. I think everybody's a criminal out here as well. I think I was kind of saying that earlier this week. A lot of people have judgment and stuff, but I don't know any. Honestly, I can even my mother was a criminal.
I tell you, that's the thing. That's the thing. Everybody that including your mother, will disappoint you at some time in the future.
Yeah.
It's just, I had a business partner in my barbecue restaurant, and right now it's closed in preparation to reopening under new management.
Right.
But we do, I used to cook barbecue in Portland. I had a barbecue food truck up there. And I also made medicated barbecue sauce.
Wow.
I'm Dr. Budsy. But I'm not just some guy that's been smoking weed with his buddies for 40 years, and now he can do it legally. And he claims that, I talked to this one guy. He said that he cured 10,000 patients of cancer. And I told him, I said, wow. I said, do you have records of all that? And he said, no, I don't have to prove anything. I call these people medical marijuana fanatics. They have to have this plant that can grow wild, labeled as medicine.
Right.
They don't want to admit, they just want to alter reality.
Yeah, no, I've had lots of so-called cannabis experts on here, and my biggest, especially with CBD, which doesn't even, basically you can't even get high off it. The
Well,
claims they make can be so extraordinary. I mean, it's supposed to cure just about everything. Well,
yeah,
if it cures everything, how come so many potheads I know are still sick of whatever?
what I'm trying to, like I said, I'm a medical marijuana patient. I believe that I'm going to live another 79 years.
79 years.
79. Yeah. To the ultimate life expectancy of a human, for reptiles is I think 225, but to be able to live to my life expectancy. But
Right.
by then, what I perceive is going to happen is the advancements in science, medicine, technology, but computing also, hardware, software, memory, all that. They'll be able to digitize the human being, their memories, their experiences, their thought process, their personality, their ultimate soul, be able to digitize that and put it into a database. And then take that soul and reanimate it into another new cloned body.
And this is desirable or not?
Shit. I mean, I'm having fun. I'm having fun.
I am too, but you know what? A part of my fun is I perform for old people a lot, like once
Yeah.
or twice a week.
Well, I have a lot of friends are dying, associates.
Yeah, but part again because I had a guy on who had a product called My Vital C, which is a carbon molecule that's been recently discovered that, according to him, and according to all the paperwork, I've researched the paperwork. There were studies done that in laboratory rats, it doubled their lifespan. So basically, his claim was that if I took this thing and it works on humans like it did on laboratory rats, that I would live to 140. And I was like, I don't think I want to live to 140. The only way I would want to live to 140 is if you can tell me I don't get any older than I am right now, because I'm
Yeah.
already at the point where I'm struggling.
Oh yeah, I'm an old fart. Hell, I part of my stage things. I'm an old, short, bald-headed white guy, and I say, and what is it about us old, short, bald-headed white guys that women can't get enough of? It's our money.
Oh, really? Because
Yeah,
I
but
always thought it was my head being like a phallic symbol to them. That's what I thought.
that may, like, but I used to have hair. Well, I still do have hair, but I'd look like Bozo the Clown.
Oh,
So,
yeah, it
but
grows out on the side, but not on the top.
yeah. Well, it's that male pattern baldness.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's not the toxic male energy. I think I don't have as much, but I ran into this trans woman, and she still had toxic male energy, or they had.
Yeah, you don't know what pronoun to use. Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have any problem with race, religion, color, creed, gender, sexual orientation, any of that. What I identify as, and I came from Portland, and you can identify as whoever or whatever you want. I identify as a cis male lesbian.
Wow.
Because I really like women. I've been accused of being a misogynist, but usually the one that accuses me of being a misogynist is a misandrist, a man-hating man or woman.
Right.
And I love women, but I tell you, a misandrist is particularly a trans woman, hates men so much that they're willing to amputate their own penis and replace it with a plastic one.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I want to go down that road a little bit because I call myself a misogynist. I didn't know it meant I hate women because I don't hate women. I love women, but I objectify women all the time. And I know I'm guilty of that. But so you say I love women. So
Yeah, I mean, I would rather hang with a woman than men because men are so fucking competitive, and they a lot of times their confrontation comes into violence. You know, I want to do business meetings where, you know, if things are going sideways, they don't start yelling at you or pull out a fucking gun.
I think your presence in a group of women would change the way women are naturally by themselves, though. Because I think without any men present,
Oh,
if it could put a surveillance camera on just a group of women hanging together, I think there'd be a lot of screaming and backbiting and
well, you know,
arguing.
nah, you know, I don't. I actually, when I was in Portland, I had this group of cannabis. It was a cannabis networking group up there called the Oregon Cannabis Industry Meetup. We'd have meetings once a month, and where we'd have maybe 50 to 100 people, and it'd be a big smoke session, a social thing. But it was actually organization for the advancement of legalization and the cannabis industry. And I had a group, it was a women's empowerment group, wanted to take over this organization that was diverse. We allowed anybody come in that was an aficionado of weed, of medical marijuana, cannabis, whatever you want to call it. Because my feeling is that my feeling that particularly cannabinoids are an essential nutritional supplement with no currently known recommended daily allowance. You should probably take some of them in to equalize your endocannabinoid system that regulates a lot of these, like the lymphatics, the nervous system, the muscular system, that regulates your body and allows it to be in homeostasis to function well.
Life is one big Cheech and Chong movie.
Yeah.
I have questions for you about
Okay.
this. Well, first of all, somebody in the chat room wants to know if you're a natural, native Oregonian. He was born
No,
in Portland. No,
no. I moved there from Texas. I
Texas.
mean, I was born and raised in, you know, I pretty much stayed. Yeah, I've traveled some places, but not a whole lot. But
Right.
I moved up to Oregon in 2015 to open up or to get involved in the quote legal cannabis industry.
Right. Well,
Because
I got a medical marijuana card, and I buy from a dispensary here in New York. It's legal, but they still don't have regular recreational dispensaries. It's still
it's not legal. It's not legal there. I mean, anytime it's what it is, it's they're regulating an illegal dangerous drug. That's what the FDA considers it, an illegal dangerous drug. 2/3 majority in this country, in USA, say it's medicine. They legally label it as medicine, being medical marijuana. And the FDA and the AMA is not going to let a bunch of stoned hippie farmers tell them what's medicine. They'll say, yeah, it's medicine, but it's an illegal, dangerous drug medicine.
right. Well, it is legal here, recreational to smoke, but there are no recreational dispensaries yet.
Yeah,
They're working on that.
yeah.
But
What was your question?
when I buy from the medical dispensaries now, I buy and they have THC listed, and so the same price for all of different kinds across the board. And some will say 10% THC, some will say 22% THC. It's like, why would I pay the same price if I'm only getting 10%? And do those numbers really mean anything?
You know, that's bullshit. That's those labels. I mean,
Oh,
it should be regulated as a recreational, that like by weight and volume, not
right.
not by these analytical things. It doesn't really matter. And these labs that do all those different tests, that's all bullshit. I mean, there's variance and everything. And how do you analyze a plant that has various different constituents, like the buds, the leaves, the stems, the stalks, the roots. It has different. So, it's all this stuff. There's going to be advancements in the ability to absorb this in, say, the next 20, probably 10 years. And what'll happen is a person, like a drink, they'll be able to absorb into your system and go to your brain a lot faster. It'll be absorbed, like the effects will be like alcohol.
Well, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking not
Oh,
necessarily
yeah,
effect like alcohol.
I didn't answer your question. I went off on a tangent.
Right, but at this this is the same question rephrased a different way. Is that I want consistency. I want to know. I want to, like with alcohol. I know my beer. I know the beer I like to drink.
Yeah.
I want to know a brand that I get the same results every time. Is there that in the medical marijuana industry, or any matter?
Yeah, not right now, because it's so variance. Like probably in 10 years, all the consumption will be by edibles, drinks, and probably single-use vape pens.
Well, that sucks. I love smoking a joint.
Yeah, well, everybody will be living in government houses, and there'll be cameras up there. There'll be a lot more restrictions, say, on, hell, the U.S. government looks like it's going to go away probably in the next 4 to 6 years. So that Constitution is going to. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. Kevin said I should grow from clones. And my somebody I know is selling clones, and I'm gonna be getting into that. I think.
The reason it costs. I think my personal belief. See, when the extracts are homogenized, you'll be able to know how much you're getting of this, like THC, CBD. Right now, and it'll be in big batches of, like, what I see the consumption to be very similar to alcohol, to be a huge industry. But what they'll have to do is acknowledge the fact that this plant that can grow wild, that the plant should be treated like a farm commodity, like grapes, potatoes, corn, or hops, which are raw products in the production of wine, whiskey, vodka, and beer. The plant itself, because you can't get stoned from eating the plant. You have to, like I said, decarboxylate.
Really? I did not know that.
No, you can't from eating the raw plant. It has to be decarboxylated. The THCA that I was talking about before has to be changed into THC in order to be able to be psychogenically effective.
Does naturally baking it do that? Like, because we used to make cake out of weed, and that would fuck you up hard. I mean, but not the same kind of high. It was. I got sick from it, to be honest.
Oh yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. Like I'm making this medicated barbecue sauce right now, just CBD, because I haven't been able to get it licensed, the THC one. But I use isolate in it, and not that nasty ass oil that you put into a crock pot. And I mean, I've been doing edibles since, like, I'm coming out with a cookbook. It's called Uncle Budsy's Favorite 420 or 420. I've got the title, but I've got 420 recipes and pictures of different weed things, and they're not all gummies and brown. I mean, most of it's savory stuff or meals. And a lot of my I have a company. It's called Dr. Budsy's Medicated Sauces and Condiments. and we make CBD or THC and or both these sauces and like dry rub that has stuff. But in our barbecue restaurant, the only thing that we smoke is meat.
That's tough to put in your pipe.
Yeah. Well, see, I'm but no, when I do cannabis infused barbecue dinners, but
wow.
But
so you leave there just as hungry as when you came in.
Yeah, just well, no, you leave with a big fucking smile on your face.
Uh,
Because of what I want everybody around me to be happy, healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect segue because it's time for the happy minute. Stick with us. We're gonna let in. I gotta play this music right now, or she can't come and go without music. Kiara, meet Budsy. Budsy, meet
Hello,
Kiara.
Budsy.
Well, how are you doing, young lady?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing pretty well. I could well, I've been better and I have been worse, and I will always say better is better.
Better is
Right.
better.
Right.
So
Uh,
I'm doing great. I'm not in jail, and I'm standing upright and ambulating with all the other sentient beings.
There you go.
All
Now,
right.
tell me about LVCIL, .com. That's Las Vegas cannabis industry and
Leaders.
leaders.
Yeah, and that's the group that I'm
So
creating.
you've only been there a year, and you're already a leader in the cannabis industry. There,
Well,
you're taking over the city.
I just want to commingle with other people here and us have a good time. I've got my restaurant, but right now it's closed. It's in downtown Las Vegas, but we're in the process of opening up a consumption lounge where we do these cannabis infused barbecue dinners.
Okay, but the consumption lounge, can you smoke in there?
Yeah, it's a consumption lounge.
Wow.
It's a place to come. I have this. Let's see, it's an Indiegogo campaign. It's about to run out, but I was raising some funds for us to open up like a tent area where we have a temporary until we can renovate. Because it's in what's called the Arts District of Las Vegas. It's where all the fun is happening.
Where people don't, it's the one place people don't go to gamble.
No, that's right. It's off the strip, and it's not in the Fremont area. The Fremont area, like my restaurant, is 2 blocks from the Golden Nugget in downtown.
Okay.
It's
I know
right across the street from the county courthouse. But if you were a local here, I'd say it's across the street from the county jail.
Oh.
Yeah, where they've had OJ when he was.
Oh yeah, when the armed robbery for the trophies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's a whole different crime.
Yeah. Well, that's there are levels of crime,
Right.
and I believe in the future penal system, prisons, people.
I like when you say penile.
Yeah. Okay. But penal. It doesn't sound right to say penal. Anyway. You're right. I would enjoy myself. I think that life is meant to be enjoyed. And the reason, like I said, I used to be a dental surgeon. I wasn't a medical doctor. If I had been a medical doctor, I probably would have been a gynecologist.
That's what most men think, but
no. Well, I do. Like I said, I'm not a misogynist. I love women, and it's not just because I like doing things with women. I like to go to concerts, out to eat, movies. But I've got my
Gynecologists see a lot of stuff.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah.
Because
Gonorrhea.
I had a
Gonorrhea.
woman.
Herpes.
Well, hell, I was a dental surgeon. You think that would be bad?
No, I would think oral cavities are pretty
to,
gross. I know oral cavities can be pretty gross.
Oh, God.
But I would
compared
think
to
being a gynecologist would make me gay pretty quickly.
Nothing's compared to a herpes infested vagina.
Yeah, well, I did beg to differ. I like it. I
You don't have to beg.
People like what they like.
Right.
Yeah, I have been accused of being a sex addict, though. But it's usually women that don't want to make me want to be monogamous. They're wanting me to settle to be celibate.
Right.
And the only time I've ever wanted to be celibate and was successful at it was 47 months I spent in Texas prison system.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd want to be celibate too in there.
Yeah, and there are a lot of people that don't want to be. They're
Wow.
talking about they're on this down low crap. I mean, to me, this is and I don't. You do what you want to do. I mean, I don't have any problem with like gay, straight, lesbian. Like I said, I consider myself a cis male lesbian. I mean, I'm not on the Leah Thomas swim team. In my comedy thing, I said, you think this comedy stuff is difficult? You should try to go into a lesbian bar and convince the lipstick girlfriend of a female truck driver that you're Jada Pinkett Smith. You're just here for a few days and you're looking for some action. and they say, you're not Jada Pinkett Smith. You're a white man with a beard. And I said, well, I will say, I'm a white Jamaican. I learned how to cook barbecue from a Jamaican fellow. But, I will I will admit I've got a little bit of facial hair here, but it's from a high hormonal imbalance. and I said, and I
now you color that, don't you?
Pardon me?
That you color this, don't it? It's colored.
It
would be gray. No,
of course. I mean, somebody asked me when I used to, used to be a stockbroker, and so when I was a stockbroker,
sounds like you, Matt.
I know. That's what I was just thinking. You got more careers than I do. That's unusual.
And I've done, like I said, I've done a lot of things. I was Barrister Budsy. I worked in the law library, and I filed a bunch of briefs. When you have a white suit and a number attached to your pleadings, they don't even look at them. So,
wow.
Yeah, I should have had my case overturned because anyway, this long.
I'm very interested in this consumption lounge thing, though, because
too.
Now, of course you are. It's your business. But so Rib, now a person like Kiara who doesn't get high, but might be like really interested in barbecue because she's like a voracious eater. She's like a wild boar when it comes to eating.
People don't have to get. See, we have a separate packet of condiments and sauce. That's what makes so they can order the food from Budsy's Barbecue that's non-infused. It's just straight family-oriented, barbecue, Texas-style barbecue. It doesn't have any weed in it, but so they can come with people that are doing it. They can be the designated straight person,
right?
Hey.
You're the designated straight person. But you hate women. You're a misogynist. I didn't know that misogynist meant you hate women. I thought it meant you objectify them. But I
thought it meant you massage them. I thought you were a misogynist.
That's what. See, in this new economy is going to come up where we have 200,000 elites. I'm going to be a pleasure concierge. That's my plan. But I'm also going to become euthanized.
That's going to live 79 more years because of cannabis. Do you believe that?
No, not because of cannabis. Not because of cannabis. The big thing is probably going to be these stem cells.
But how did you come up with 79? Because 79 is an awful, specific number.
What's 79? What I missed?
He's going to live another 79 years.
79.
I'm planning to go to where the optimum is for a human. They have.
So what is that? Because we don't know how old you are now. So 79. What is the optimal age for humans?
150. But for reptilians, it's 225. And reptilians, people. It's a different species.
I know. Smashing Pumpkins guy. So
I don't because a lot of people say I'm crazy.
Yeah, I can see why.
I don't have Alzheimer's. Okay. I don't have dementia. I may have brain metastases. Hell, I don't know. But I do smoke.
Right.
medicate, but but you know,
But the reptilians. Now, is this something you totally believe in? Have you met a reptilian? Do you?
yeah, yeah, especially I mean,
Yeah, they're all in office.
yeah, that is probably true. I mean, it's the slit of their eyes that, and what happens if they get stoned and you have eye contact with them and you don't blink, it's kind of like autism. It's and it does that.
Now,
Yeah.
Kiera, you see, when you see, that was a joke, but it was like okay that they're all in office. But are you because I know you're a flat earther. I know believe in just about everything weird under the sun. Do you actually believe in the reptilians? And you don't, because you're an anti-alien person, and the reptilians are
No,
aliens.
definitely, yeah. I definitely wouldn't put it past these politicians and elites to be blood sucking something.
Right.
Yeah,
But
you see, the thing about reptilians, they don't act on emotions. They're more logical. They're more logical. But you know, the thing I tell people, I was talking to somebody last night. I said, you know, humans want to be monogamous. They really want to be monogamous, but it usually doesn't work out. But reptilians, they don't even want to be monogamous. They want to go out and fuck anything and everything.
I might be reptilian. I'm afraid.
Yeah,
How do I know?
Yeah, and there's not. I'll tell you. Yes, the other day I was sitting on my porch and I saw these birds, and I posted this up on Facebook. But these birds, they were invited to dinner, and 5 minutes later they were fucking. And so but humans don't do that. I mean, there's but it's like some of the shit that I say, I have been accused. I mean, I like it living here in Las Vegas because
What did they have for dinners? Bird seeds, or did they have cannabis infused steak?
No, they were no.
Birds aren't real. Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
They were down there eating worms and seeds, whatever, just picking around. But you know, I think that's the really banal interaction, the sexual interaction. And I believe, as a sentient being, as a human, that the sexual act is one of the most intense communication between beings. It's really communication, but you have to be with someone that you want to be with. And this random, like, since I've been here,
I treat it like most misogynists do, and basically that is like a car. You get a new one. You get a new one every 10 years or so, or 5 years.
Oh my gosh!
What?
That's terrible.
That's bad. Terrible.
That's terrible.
You would do the same with. Oh no, you don't like young men. You like old men. But you'd get a new used car every 5 years. Then.
No.
Well, like
old jalopies. You like old jalopies, classic hot rods.
Like my last girlfriend, and I think she's actually going to come back here for a week. Here, she's telling me that she loves me, and it was a weird thing. She is crazy. She is fucking crazy. She's borderline personality disorder.
Wow. So
I love her, God, but she's my mission mate here on this planet. I was sent here on a mission from God, the general overdirector, on the planet from the planet Nirvana, where God's a big supercomputer. Like, it's logical and it's binary logic. And it's a self-correcting supercomputer, has unlimited resources, controls everything in that solar system. And
Kevin said this was about to go in, man. Imagine that. That's funny. No, it's seriously. You believe all this stuff, or you just pulling my leg on all this stuff?
Well, it's my fantasy.
Religion? Okay.
Yeah, I'm the pastor of this Church of the Eternal Erection.
Oh my gosh.
So I got a question for you. Now, when you were a dental surgeon,
Was
did
I
you
like
have?
this? Was I like this? No, this is when
No,
I was.
yeah, exactly. That were you like this, and did you have access to the anesthesia?
No, I was. I was completely. I'd been when the guy died in my office. I was completely clean and sober for a year. But I
Oh, wow.
was. But I was in Scientology then.
Oh my God, that's dangerous.
I got excommunicated from there.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, well, I guess they're trying to get me back, and I said, "No, not you're not for me." It's
All
like
right.
Scientology. Oh,
We
I
had
met,
our thing; it didn't work out.
yeah, I met Allie Kirsty, her husband Parker Stevenson, John Travolta, and Tom Cruise one night. I was talk to them. They're really nice guys, but I mean, the reason for their success is their thought processes. They're more confident in what they're doing because they go through this weird ass therapy.
Well,
But